In today's video, I want to take you guys through the plethora of updates we've gotten on the PlayStation 5 DualSense Controller. Jeff Keighley hosted a brand new live stream that went over a lot of information, so we'll talk that. We'll also go over his own personal thoughts, and Destiny 2 Beyond Light unfortunately sees a delay until November 10th. Bungie has revealed that information. We'll talk that at the end of this video. However, more details and the first impression of the PlayStation 5's DualSense Controller have been revealed by way of the Summer Game Festival stream with Jeff Keighley. GameSpot has a pretty in-depth recap of what was shown off, so I do want to go over that. A brief side-by-side comparison showed that the DualSense is physically larger than the PlayStation 4's controller, weighing a bit more and feeling like it has more heft. The images I saw and when I saw the side-by-side, the PS5 controller looks pretty gargantuan in this. They are explaining it that it's just a little bit heavier. When I actually saw the image, I was like, damn, the PlayStation 5 controller is pretty big. Not that I really mind that. I like a controller that feels a little bit, you know, like high-quality tech, and I feel like we're gonna get that with the DualSense controller. The integrated speaker is said to have a wider range of sound, and that the sounds it emits tie in with the haptic feedback it is doing, at least in Astro's Playroom, a free game that's pre-installed on PlayStation 5. According to Jeff Keighley, it's a multi-hour game rather than just a quick tech demo. After describing what it's like to use the controller, Keighley shared slices of gameplay footage of him playing Astro's Playroom with the new controller. The game is set up like a different component of a computer, with a CPU lobby area and a cooling station area. One section showcased the adaptive triggers, with Keighley describing the tension he felt in each one as he used them while controlling a character whose body consisted of a large spring. Next, he spoke with PlayStation Worldwide head of marketing Eric Lempel. He said that Astro's Playroom is intended to show off the benefits of the controller and various features of the system. A different version of the game was taken to developers earlier in development as the PS5 was introduced to them. In terms of the design changes to the controller itself, Lempel talked about Sony wanting to iterate upon the established DualShock design. The power of next gen was also went in upon. Lempel was asked about Xbox's approach to the generational shift, and I find this rather interesting as a tidbit. You guys know that Microsoft is going for more of a route of you can play your game anywhere. Xbox Series X games will be playable on Xbox One. Some people are really into that idea. Other people are like, doesn't that mitigate the necessity to pick up a Series X, and will that ultimately make Series X games not take full advantage of the Series X? So definitely a talking point worth having. Microsoft is trying to blend the transition. Sony is more fully pushing for a full-on change to a new generation. He noted a big pillar of our company is innovation, adding that we want to push the boundaries of play. What's unique about the DualSense is it plays into your senses. He also stated that PS4 will continue to be a big part of what we do. There will be a lot more to come on PS4. There's still a lot more life in that product. Also, as I mentioned earlier, PlayStation 5 pre-orders were clarified that they will be announcing a date and then pre-orders will be opening up. That's fantastic. And as far as the controller's colors, this has been a big talking point as a lot of people are not a fan of the white look of the DualSense controller. Asked if there will be additional colors of the DualSense, Lempel said, "We'll talk about it at some point." He agreed with Keighley's statement that it's difficult enough to get a single product out the door. So while Lempel wasn't definitive about it, it sounds more than likely than not you'll have different color PlayStation 5 DualSense controllers at some point, and maybe even adjust the two-tone color option at launch. However, we do know the PS5 is releasing later this year, so that's what we have to go on about that. Again, Keighley also spoke with his thoughts on the controller, noting as you push down on the controller, there's tension in the adaptive triggers and it's programmable. Imagine pulling this down and feeling the pressure of a bow and arrow, or in an action game, pulling this trigger down and feeling active reload points. Designers can create tension points as you pull the trigger down at certain percentages and give the player feedback. That's a unique sensation that's going to have a big impact in the longer term on gameplay. PlayStation had rumble for quite some time, but the haptics add another layer to the experience. It just isn't one rumble point, so it's not just on or off. There's the ability to create other sensations. The other thing that I've noticed is that the speaker in the DualSense feels like it has much more range than the PS4 speaker, and it often ties directly into what's happening with the haptics. At least in Astro's Playroom, there's much more variety in the types of sounds. I'm sure every game will use it differently or not so much at all. At least in this demo, you really do sense that there's a lot going on with the haptics, and there's sound that ties into it. When you combine that with the Tempest 3D engine in PlayStation 5 for the speakers and get a harmony between the controller sound and what's happening in the PlayStation 5 is really unique and interesting. Compared to the DualShock for PlayStation 4, it definitely weighs a little bit more, but it doesn't feel substantially heavier. If anything, it actually has a little bit more heft to it, but in a good way. It feels more structured and centered. It feels good to me. So, hey, there you have it with that. While I looked at the side-by-side image, Keighley actually has held the controller, so he would know a lot better than me. He's just saying it's a little bit heavier. Lastly, I do want to note that Destiny 2 is definitely getting a revamp, but Beyond Light, this year's Destiny 2 expansion, has been delayed to November 10th from its initial September 22nd planned release date. We have made the decision to move the release of Destiny 2 Beyond Light to November 10th as the first chapter in a new trilogy of expansions. Beyond Light is the beginning of a new era of Destiny 2. We have a powerful story to tell and incredible new features that were really entertaining expansion we can possibly make for our fans. To that end, we are doing what's best for the game and moving the launch date. The past few months have been a challenge and will continue to be during this pandemic. We've learned to create together in a new way by having to work apart from one another. Despite these hurdles, we're still committed to the same level of quality that our fans expect. Over the coming weeks, we'll be unveiling more of what we're working on for Beyond Light and what that also means for Season of Arrivals, which will now extend to November 10th. Beyond Light sets the stage for an incredible future in Destiny 2, and though it's coming later than we originally anticipated, we're excited to continue that journey with you this November. Obviously, Destiny 2 is one of those games that if you're invested into it, you're probably super into it, but I am excited for this revamp now that Bungie is on their own. I think they can do a lot of good with Destiny 2. I think they can do a lot of good in video games in general. They're an incredibly talented studio, and what they do in the future definitely is going to have a microscopic lens attached to it, given that they are one of the most iconic studios in history. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that. Nevertheless, Beyond Light will be coming a little bit later now on November 10th instead of September 22nd. But that's going to conclude this video. Again, there's your DualSense Controller update. Jeff Keighley seems relatively high on it, and Destiny 2's Beyond Light update will be out on November 10th. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.